Hi friends, welcome back to the TechSupper channel. Today in this video, we are going to look at how to initiate a PCS workflow from an integration, which means if we have a workflow which we have created under that process cloud service and you want to initiate that workflow from that integration at any point of time, you have a option to call this PCS workflow from that integration. So before I start, I will request you to please subscribe my channel so that you can get latest notifications in your notification list as soon as I publish a new video. So let's get started and see how to achieve this functionality in Integration Cloud. Integration that invokes a process. A process can be kicked off from an orchestrated integration, which means if you have an orchestrated integration built under that integration cloud and you have one process cloud, you have one process which you wanted to kick off from that orchestrated integration, you can do this from that integration cloud. Only the processes which are based on message based pattern can be called from that integration, which means whenever you create a process under that workflow, there are different patterns on which you can build your workflow. But the workflow which are based on this message based pattern can be kicked off from that integration. Like if you have process which is based on that form approval or initiated using that form, you cannot call such type of processes from that integration. Under that integration cloud, there is an activity called process which will allow you to kick off a process. So here in this video, we are going to cover our lab in which first we will create a message based pattern process under that process cloud service. We will create a workflow based on that message based pattern. Then we will deploy the process and assign the role to the swim lane. And then we will create an orchestrated integration and we'll call the deploy process. And then we will see the instance under that workspace so that we can verify that your process has been kicked off from that integration. So let's get started and go step by step. Let me just log in into my integration cloud first of all. So here I have just logged in into the integration cloud, and as the first step I'm going to create a process. Click on process application, and from here click on a create button. Click on create an application, and here I'm going to give a name here, message based application, and then click on a create button. Once you do this, uh, process page will be open, the designer page will be open from where you can do multiple steps. Let the page to be open. First I'm going to create a business type, and then based on this business type I will create a form as well. Click on a create a business type. The business type is nothing, it is just to organize your data into that process. So you have to just add it first so that you can do editing and create a business type. And here I'm just putting my user BO, and then click next. On the next screen, you can define the attributes as many as you want. Click on this plus button in order to define attribute. I'm saying first name, and you can change the data type. By default, it is string. Then add. I will add another attribute called last name, and then add. I will add another attribute as a email address, and then again I will choose this as a string. Now under this business object, I have created 3 attributes and then finish. Now my user business object has been created, which will have 3 attributes. If you open this, here you can see user BO, this under business object, the first name, last name, and then email address. Save this. Now I am going to create a form. Create a form over here, and then here I will say user form, and then click on a create button. Once you do this, form pane will be opened wherein you can do your you can create a form. So here, instead of creating the form from this component palettes, what I can do, whenever you create a business type of object, the business objects will be there, and based on this you can create your form. So here is the business data dot user bo. Just drag and drop over here, and automatically the form will be created. So if you have three fields, the three fields will be visible over here under that business view. Now, if you select this, and here you see the label, the name is first name, the label is first name. You can change the label for sure, and let the binding as it is. It is under user view dot first name. Similarly, you can change the label of this thing, last name, and then email address. Now your form is ready based on that user business object which you have created. Now go to the processes, and I'm going to create a process over here based on that. Create a structured process, and I will create a process based on this start when a message is received. Click on this, and here you can put a process name like user process, and then message when when a message is received. This type of process can be kicked off from your integration only. Hence, I am going to create a process based on this pattern, and then click on a create button. Once our process will be created, there will be a start and end activity. Let this thing to be open. Here you see the process has been created, and it has only start activity and then end activity. Here I am going to put a operation. Click on this, and then click on open properties. When you do this, here you see the define interface, and then operation will be start by default, and here you can put a argument. Click on this edit button. Once you click on the edit button, a dialog box will be opened where you can define that operation name. And saying user post user op, and then you can define that argument definition. Click on this plus button in order to create the argument. Here I'm saying first name, and then this will be a data type string only. I will put last name, and then another is email address, and then click on a OK button. Now here what you have done, you have defined a operation called post user op, and then the name, first name, last name, and then email address. It is similar to that REST API or the SOAP API which you create, and where you create an operation and you define that attribute under that request. Now let's do this open data association so that I can map this first name, last name to the email address to the BO which I have created. So in order to bring that BO, just click on this data object, and then click on this plus button. And here I will say user DO, and I will map this user DO. Sorry, that will be start with the small user DO. And then it will be on a business object which I have created on a user BO, and then here you see the structure has been created, and then I will do this mapping. You can put that auto mapping as well, which will do the auto mapping based on that name, first name, last name, email address, and then user do dot first name, user do dot last name, mapped with the last name, and user do dot email address, and then apply. Now here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a approve activity over here, the human activity. And here I will set a form. Click on this open properties, and I'm going to assign a form just to showcase the data has been entered, and I will use this user form, and then click on OK button. I have to make a data association as well. Open this data association, and then under the user processes you have this data object, and then this user do, right? And then you have this user form, and then user bo. Just put a first name, and then last name to last name, so that the data can be copied into your form, and then email address to email address, and then do a apply. Now your integration, your process with that has been created, and now just save this, and then you can do a publish. Here I'll just put a snapshot here, and I will say this is my initial draft. Then publish your first draft, and then publish. Here your first application has been published. Okay, now you can activate this. Click on this activate. So the matches, the whenever you create a process based on this when matches are received pattern, you cannot test via player or test in active mode. So just activate and then activate a new version, and here you can use the last published version initial draft, and then validate it, options, and then you can put a default version 1.0 and then activate. Let it be activated. It will take a while, and then finish. Now your version has been activated. Now I need to assign a role, okay, to this swim lane which has been created. For this, go back then from here what I have done is just go to this administration. Under this administration, go to the manage roles, and under manage roles you have this process reviewer. You can add a member here, and I am saying go chain search. You can use this demo user. Okay, sorry, add a member again, and you can put Ankur. You can put this one and this one both. Okay, and then okay, and then save it. Process owner also you can add both users. Add member. So here again search Ankur, and then add this, and then okay. Now just see. Now your process is ready. Now the first step has been completed. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a integration which will kick off this process. So here click on this integration and then integrations. Click on a create button, and then use this app driven orchestration to create a new integration. Here I will give my integration name call process integration, and then click on a create button. Here I am going to create my REST integration. So click on this REST connection, and here I will say call flow workflow, and then click on the next button, and here I'm saying flow, and then I'm just putting a post verb, and here configure a request payload this endpoint and this thing, and then next. And under this, I will take a JSON sample and then put a inline. And here I will put the first name, the last name, and then email address, and then okay, next. And then as a response also, I can say status, and then okay, click next, and then finish your wizard. So my REST endpoint is ready. So now I need to call the process. So for this, click on this actions, and here there is a activity called process under this call group. Use this activity which will allow you to kick off your process. Once you open this, once you drag and drop this, a wizard will be opened. I am saying call user process, and then next. When you click on the next button, it will show you all the application which you have created, but it should be activated, then only it will be visible under this drop down. So the application which is based on that message pattern will be visible over here. Click on this message based pattern, and here you have this operation. Use this user process revision 1.0 default, and if you wanted to use the default version, you can use this. Click checkbox, next, and then finish. Save your integration, and then you can do a mapping. So if you click on this edit button, here this is the post user operation, first name, last name, email address, and this will come from my request. First name, last name, and then email address. So this is the operation which we have created, post user copy, validate, and then close. Save your integration, and finally you can map the response as well. Edit. So it will not give any response back in this activity. So what you can do, you can just put this hard coded, and then you can put a status. Click on this status, and then create target node, and then here I am saying success, and then validate this, and then validate your mapper, and then close your mapper. Now my integration is ready, and now this is the time to test your integration. Click on this action tracking, and then enable a tracking parameter as a mandatory step, and then save your integration, save this, and then close, and then finally activate your integration. Here you just click on this activate button, which will allow you to activate your integration, and then activate. Now your integration has been activated. Let me just take the payload from this metadata URL, this thing, and then go back and then click on this test button to test your integration directly. Click on this body section, and then here, and here you can put a first name like Ravi, you can put a Kumar, and here as an email address you can say ravi@gmail.com, and then test. You should get a response as well. Let it be. Here you see you have received a status as a success, and an instance has been created. Now if you go back under this my task, here you see the message based application, a task has been created 11 seconds ago. If you open this, here you will see the first name Ravi Kumar, and then ravi@gmail.com has been mapped on this particular form. You can approve it, you can reject it. So this is how you can call your processes from your integration. If you open the monitoring section of the integration, it will show you the instance as well of the tracking. And here you see your process has been kicked off and it has been succeeded still. So guys, this is how you can use this process activity to kick off your process. And I hope you like the video. If you like the video, please like, comment and share. And please subscribe my channel to get notification in your notification directly. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a good day.